So now it's my topic.
You can grab them.
My topic has come, and it's brothers. I have no brothers. Everyone in this room has brothers.
It's unfortunate.
We have 2 brothers. Why is it unfortunate?
Brothers are awesome. I think that siblings are very important, just overall, but specifically if you're in the same like kind of age group. And now, I guess that's not even true because I've seen it happen with new people that I've met where the age range is a little different. But I think that it's someone to look up to and someone to be responsible for.
To look out for.
Yeah. And it's like it's not even so much a direct A to B thing of that because it's not like what you were saying about learning from the other person. Like that's been true for me since moment one. Now my brother, you guys have heard stories about him. He's all over the place.
He's juiced.
He's juiced about a lot of things. And it's me and him could not be more different in so many different ways. But then at the core of it though, we're so similar. Like so similar. And I think that's what brothers are. That's what siblings are. Let's not even talk about sisters because like we don't have sisters. None of us have sisters.
Kevin has sisters.
Unfortunately.
Are they hot?
Whoa.
I asked that same question.
The way Kevin described them is they look like him.
They are hot, Kevin? Oh, you're such a great big brother that no, he's giving this.
They're older sisters. Yeah, Kevin has 2 older sisters and 1 younger brother. And I grew up with his older sister. So in some ways I had older sisters, but it was loose.
Surrogate.
Yeah, and then his little brother came way later to the point of like, I don't know, we fuck with him, but like he's not, it's different. You know what I mean? It's just different. But now Kevin has to be responsible for him. And I see him looking out for him all the time. And it's that type of responsibility of even when he's out of it, even when Kevin's moved on with his life. How young is Spencer? Like compared to you? How many? 10 years younger. 10 years is a lot of years.
Wait, how old are you?
I can remember.
He's 20. Yeah, 25.
You have a 15-year-old brother?
Yeah.
Whoa, his balls are just dropping.
And I mean, and we
have you
saw
talked
that
to him
happen.
about sex and things?
Stories to tell you later.
Does he have sex?
He's
experimenting?
He's got a girlfriend for the
Okay, all right.
Oh, it's so great. So I always love hearing this because I hear these
Get his
stories.
toes wet.
I hear stories from Kevin of just like them walking in on him, and he has like websites on his computer he shouldn't have open, stuff like that. It's
Come on,
just
he's a dude.
I know. Well, yeah, but it's just so funny that it's like, oh my god, that's a thing. Like,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
is that
you've forgotten
age, like,
about it, right?
That is like
I mean,
a
isn't-
weird taboo thing. But like,
That age where all of his socks are just like you can hold them up and they're just straight.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, what the fuck is happening with this thing?
What do you mean?
What do I mean? I know exactly what I mean.
You mean
When
the
you're a
hotel
young
special.
boy,
That's what it is.
You'll put your dick in anything. You will. Just to see what it's like. Dude, because you're like, I'm fucking 11, I'm 12, I don't have any outlet for this. No one's talking to me about it because it's supposed to be shameful. Like, maybe there's a sex ed class, but now they have the internet, which is great.
that's the thing. Everyone's talking about it now. It's like I can only imagine, like with his brother, like he probably knows exactly how to do everything safely and everything. It's like it's almost as if he could just go on youtube.com/kindafunny and look at a show called Love and Sex Stuff and figure out how to do everything involved.
Yeah,
in
but then
sex.
you'd have to know like when those episodes post. Like what time of day? And
I don't
what-
know. It'd
like
be
Mondays at
really
9 a.m.?
convenient if it was Monday at 9.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
What are
Pacific
the
time.
Spencer
what are the
Cuomo.
questions for that show, Tim?
They can go to kindafunny.com/love and sex and fill out the form if
There
they
you
have
go.
questions that people should answer. Professionals.
Send the email.
Anyways, back to it. It's interesting seeing Kevin and his brother's relationship, but beyond that, my brother, and Kevin grew up as brothers, and brothers are a good thing. Family matters and all that stuff, and they teach you that, and that's what you kind of grow up knowing. So Ninja Turtles was like a key thing for me completely, and it's like they're brothers and they're fucking awesome and they love each other and all that shit. We were Ninja Turtles together. We're like, oh shit, we're this unit. And even though we were all very different and whatever, we grew up together. And so my brother's 2.5 years younger than me. And we just grew up like that. So from the ages of whatever, like 4, I was 4, he was 3, Kevin was 3, and then my brother was like 2. From then onward until I was about 12, we just grew up literally together. We were inseparable. That was just how that shit went. Then after that, it's that puberty time. Everyone kind of grows up,
popping boners left and
starts
right.
doing different things. You start meeting different people, like friends, girls, all this shit, right? And you know that your family when that comes back. We all went our different ways and all went in drastically different directions. There we are. We're adorable. Put that picture up, please.
Wait, which one's Tim?
The left one.
You're all wearing green too. You do look
We're all
like
wearing Ninja Turtle
Yeah.
pajamas.
That's funny.
What is
They're
that,
matching.
like camouflage? No. Oh, just like they're
It's
ninja.
digital faces. But anyway,
Who's the
it's-
apparition behind you?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Who's haunting you?
My sister.
Yeah.
There you go.
She looks cute.
And anyways, but what's interesting is now seeing how it
I'm
all
sorry.
grew up.
Was that red?
And me and Kevin have been so close for so long that like I see him literally every day. I don't see my brother that much anymore. It's because he went on a totally different path. But it's interesting to look back and see how me and Kevin interact with my brother, where he made a lot of choices in his life that kind of brought him down a path of where there's a lot of hardships in front of him, and it's been difficult. You know, he made bad choices. You know, and bad choices on top of each other, it snowballs. And then it gets to a point when you're like, well, shit, I want to fix this and I want to change this. That it's really hard to fix and change those things. Whereas I feel like me and Kevin are on the other side of that, where luckily we made the right decisions and we just kind of snowballed up, and that kind of creates an even bigger divide, right?
Yeah.
Snowballs can go up.
Really don't think they can, but okay.
Yeah, they can.
You got to push them up.
I
You
was-
gotta
I
push
said
'em
it's
up
a
step by
weird
step.
thing. Snowballs
It's
up.
definitely a weird thing.
Yeah. Well, whatever. It happened. And so we're doing this thing, and that creates an even bigger divide between us and my brother, you know? But then it's like, then we hang out and we see each other, and it's just like there's that underlying moment of, holy shit, he's still the person that we love, and we're still the person that he loves. And he'll say something stupid, and we're just like, I love you. Like, that still makes us laugh, whatever.
Yeah.
We say something, he's like, I fucking love you. It's just like, we're there for each other. And I think that's the thing about brothers. It sounds so stupid and obvious, but it's like,
not.
No matter what happens, no matter how much dumb bullshit my brother does, and oh Lord, Nick knows. Nick's been there for me through like the
seen some
dumbest things my brother has done.
Yeah.
And just because you just had to hear about it.
No, but
you
I
know?
mean, that's the thing with your brother too. Is I've spent some time with him lately. Like lately, I think it's been great. He's been coming out when we go out to have drinks. He's been joining us, and he's coming out of his shell a little bit. But I feel like you are, you know, he's young. He's a young guy, and I think that being around us is really, really good. But it's true. It's a different dynamic than when you have friends, because you just don't ever think that that person's not going to be in your life. You know?
Yeah.
Whereas I've had friends that have come and go, and that's just kind of the nature of dynamics. Like I have a ton of friends still in Orange County that I talk to maybe twice a year, and I don't mean to, but that's just the way it goes, because we're in different parts of the state from each other, and we have different lives now. A lot of my friends have kids. A lot of them have jobs that they really love, and they want to put a lot of effort into that. But with Matt, I think this is a perfect example of it, right? So a lot of my other friends, it makes me sad that I'm not still I don't have a personal relationship with them, but not to the point where I'm actually motivated to call them, right? And that's a dickhead thing to say, but that's just the way it is. It's like, I'm super busy and I have to prioritize my life. And unfortunately, keeping up all of the friendships I have on Facebook in real life is just not a thing that's going to happen. But when I moved up here, and we had there was a period where Matt and I, my brother and I, had not drifted, but our lives were just sort of going on different courses for a bit. You know, you were married, and then you got divorced, and then you met the love of your life, and you decided to marry her, and that was all happening at the same time that I moved up here. And so there was a physical space, but there was also a little bit of an emotional space between us, just because there were big things happening in our lives that we had to focus on. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but never in that time did I ever think I'm not going to have a personal relationship with my brother. That just wasn't even going to happen. And there were times when I would think that, and I would be like, I got to call him. And it still happens today. Even like lately, I don't think there's been a week that's gone by.
Yeah, now it's cool as fuck.
Where I'm just like, because I feel like there was an awkwardness. So first you gave me some space when I moved up here, but then eventually I was like, no, just text me or call me whenever you want. And,
Well, I mean,
again, that doesn't mean 7:30 in the morning, Matt. I'm still gonna throw that
Okay,
out there. I
stop.
know you wake up early for your jobs,
That's
but I
not
don't
true
have
at
a real
all.
life.
It's not true at all.
This is not a real job. I can come here at 10:30.
When you started working,
That is 100%
He texts
true.
me. He texts me at like 8 o'clock in the morning. He's like, so you're probably not up, but I need all this information, this, and this, and this. And I'm like, that first part of the sentence. Let's keep that in the back of your mind all the time. Definitely not.
just because I sit at a computer earlier than you, I expect 2 days. That's my callback. If you email me, I'll get back to you in 2 days.
Talking back every day.
No, I'm talking about email and
Yeah.
text. Like you showed me your phone one Christmas when you were working for IGN. And I was like, no fucking way. I mean, he's going to see my email and text and that bullshit. He had like 2,000 inbox emails. And I was like, Well, that's fucking crazy.
To be
I get
fair,
like
that's
10.
because Nick doesn't look at any email ever.
No. But at the same time, though,
No, I do look
you
at
know-
text though, and last night I was on a text thread with 4 people. Like
That's a lot
not
of
one
texts.
thread, 4 different
threads,
texts
yeah.
happening. There was someone's birthday. Someone was pitching us on a gig. I was going back and forth with him. I think my wife was texting me from the next room because she preferred that form of communication versus
Rather
verbal.
than speaking to you.
Well, because the problem with speaking, and Matt will attest to this, is when my wife starts talking to me, I take that as a physical cue that I need to go touch her. And
Pretty
she does
sexy.
not like that. So sometimes she will text me, "Hey, can you bring me some water?" Put the water by the bed. Do
Knock
not
on the door and
disturb
walk
me.
away.
Yes, walk backward into the room. Don't look at me and don't smell me.
Why is your wife like Hannibal Lecter? It's so
You
weird.
can ask her that tonight when we have
She's
dinner.
like,
with her.
the lambs.
What time's your dinner?
Clarice.
No, I don't know. It's not.
We
It's
haven't-
not-
I just wanna make sure
we
I
haven't
don't-
said it
I don't
because
wanna-
work comes first, Greg. Work comes first.
It's true.
I wish some of this work ethic rubbed off on this guy over here.
I'm telling you right
No,
now,
but
if you want me to fucking punch him up a little bit.
Not jokingly, all of my work ethic came from this guy, and that's what you talk about when you talk about brothers. Is that when you grow up with siblings, obviously there's pros and cons with it. But one of the things that can work out very, very well is that you take on the better, like the best parts of the other person, and vice
What you
versa, and you
admire
make
in
each
them.
other better.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, honestly, like, and this is getting really sappy and stupid, but it's like that what you learn from that brothership and stuff, like you kind of then adapt to other people.
Friends.
So it's like,
Yeah.
but even it's not even just friends. It's like when I met you and like I saw you as somebody. I'm like, oh fuck, like I look up to you and I want to learn from you. And it's like then when I knew you guys had the brothers and shit. This motherfucker at Comic-Con, I respected you. When at the moment I met you, I'm like, oh fuck, like I need to impress you. And you're asking me to do all this fucking physical labor, and you're like, hey, set up this light, do this shit. I didn't know how to do any of that. I didn't know anything, and I hate physical fucking labor. That's what this guy's for.
like the sweat.
Like I have Kevin do all that shit for me, but he wasn't there. He wasn't there for me. But I was like, fuck, I have to do this. And it's like, I push myself. And it's like, I would push myself because I want to impress you, because I see you as an older brother, which makes you the older brother.
That's
you
true.
know?
I'm like a grandbrother.
Yes.
I respected you once you did that video where you threw the sheet up and
Oh,
then
it's so
disappeared.
good.
on
Oh,
the
yeah.
side.
So
That was one
fucking
of this
good.
guy knows things. I can learn from
That was
him.
an amazing video.
So-
Do you still have that, Kevin?
I have it. I'm
Okay,
gonna put it
good.
up.
Someone's
on
got
Vine.
that video. Someone's got that video for sure. So I guess my question is like, 'cause, you know, we've talked about it here and there on the show, right? But like, I'm an only child. Yeah, parents got split up. This, that, and the other. And like when I was growing up, my parents didn't have relationships with their siblings that had children. So my family's incredibly fractured. You know what I mean? Into the point of where it's like, I can't. How often do you guys? How often do you talk to Greg?
Oh,
and how-
so you're saying that that spurred something that Nick was saying about like calling him all the time,
Yeah.
or whatever. For me, and this goes back to our friendship topic. Like to me, a friend is someone when something good happens to me, or bad, but usually good. When something happens, who's the first people I want to tell? Like who do I call? Who or whatever? And my brother will always, and my mom too, but my brother will always be like top
five.
3 people that I just immediately tell them. Now the funny thing about my brother is he doesn't have a phone. Because of his situations here and there, it's like he'll have a phone for a month at a time and it goes away, and then
So you take masking
different
tape and
numbers
put
and
it
all
on
that
the
shit.
Can I
window.
ask, is he in witness relocation?
He's in a whole bunch of shit. Like
Okay, I just wanna-
it can get difficult sometimes.
No,
but,
I don't need to know. I'm just.
But my brother's the type of dude where like I want him to know so bad that I will drive to him.
Oh,
like,
wow.
drive to his house to like tell him whatever just happened to me. No, but I mean like even if it's
Can he walk?
No. It's like
You can't walk.
it's
You
a
have to-
drive.
that doesn't even factor in. Tim doesn't walk.
Yeah, no,
He doesn't like
fucking
physical
kidding
exertion.
me?
Do you wear those
No.
spicy shoes like you did at the strike of Kind of Funny Live, where you were like, "Yeah, I think I wore the wrong shoes to carry this stuff."
Oh, I mean that's always.
Yeah, don't
that's
worry.
my life. Again, I still respect you, and I'll still do whatever.
No,
you
that's
tell
fine.
me
That
to.
just means that you're
But
going to be
Calvin
like
Funny
the
Live,
Brad
Kevin
Pitt of
was
the
there.
internet. Didn't I call you
So-
the Brad Pitt of the internet?
You did,
Yeah.
and I'll take it.
Is the Brad?
But anyway,
He's
going
the
back
Brad
to it,
Pitt
it's like,
of the
how
internet.
often do we talk? Not enough. It's never enough. I think that's really the answer.
No, you'll never get enough time with your
yeah.
siblings.
But now that
ever.
my brother's on Instagram now, and that's a way that he can constantly talk to me.
Oh, that's
He doesn't
good.
really use it too much he uses it to message.
Yeah, he doesn't
people.
have many photos up.
But yeah, that's the whole story. But anyways, he'll DM me all the time, and it's like that's how we kind of converse, and it's fucking great.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you went through all this different stuff. I mean, what was there that traditional period of hating each other?
Yeah, oh
Like,
yeah.
No,
There-
I would think that was younger though.
That was
when we were
way younger, yeah. So when I was from
It's like
probably
fucking-
0 to about 13 or 14, Matt
No way.
just fucked me up. Just
No.
abused the shit.
I
out
would
of me.
say 0 to like maybe 8 to 10. Because by the time you were 13 and 14, think about that. You were in high school.
By the
and
time
I
I
was
got into
already
junior
throwing the
high,
parties
yeah.
where the
So
older
that was
ladies were
13.
like, "Your
No.
brother's amazing. I
It was
want to
probably-
fuck him."
It was
Like,
probably junior high.
Like he's 10 years old.
was when we
pedophile.
started to bond. I
No,
think
he
it
was like a
really when I could
teenager,
drive
but
a
he
car
did his thing.
and pick you up from parties. I think that's when you started, because you were like this.
never
I still
did you
wanna
pick
drink,
me up with party.
You're
You
like, I
never
still
came to
wanna
a fucking
drink,
party.
But I don't want to get another DUI because I'm like
He never got
I'm
a
like
DUI technically.
2 for 2 right
Legally,
now.
I'm clean.
So no, but I think that like it's like it's anything like those formative years, those years from like when you're 10 to like 20 are the years you change probably the most in your life. I mean, you're going through literally different changes of venues with schools, different changes of your body, different changes of like your lifestyle of like going from even just like I have a skateboard now I have and a bike to I have a motor vehicle that I can get across town with.
And I mean,
right?
even just the amount of money you have. It goes from
Yeah,
like,
I
I'm
can
eating
book
a
a
hot
job
dog
now.
at 7-Eleven to I'm going to Olive Garden.
right.
I mean, I won't
and
say
Olive Garden being-
Spaghetti Factory, but Olive Garden.
See, I love Spaghetti
I
Factory.
would have
We
gone
talked about that the other day.
spag. Well, I'm
don't
not
got
going to
that.
say what
Don't
we
call
called
it.
it.
We know
We
that's
used to call it in Riverside. I can't say that term because currently I don't want to get
Tim
into
knows
those
it.
conversations
No,
that you
but
had the other
it's
day
hilarious.
about the word that starts with
All
an
right,
R
all right.
and the other word. I don't believe in any of those words either.
anyway. So we
Now I'm lost on what you would
Like, what's
possibly
even
call that.
happening?
it's not we'll tell you. I'll tell you guys
Spaghetti
offline.
Factory.
Oh,
We'll talk. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad, but I don't want your listeners to go, "Oh, he's homophobic," and now I have to justify using any terms that may. I'm in theater, so legally, I have
No,
a
it's one of those.
license.
No. You're,
Stop.
No, I don't. And I don't
You
mean
know what I mean,
Yeah,
though. You know what I mean.
This is what I always talk about. This goes back to when growing up in high school. Yeah, everything I don't like is gay. And then you're eventually like that. Somebody's like, "That's a bad," and they explain. And you're like, "All right, I'm a complete asshole." I'll
No,
stop
and I've
doing
heard
that."
you say that, and you're absolutely. I mean, that's you. That's your thing. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, we used to call it that back in the day when we were idiots.
Well,
But-
yeah.
Everyone who's young is an idiot. There's
true.
nothing to be ashamed of. Grow out of it. It's the kids who are like 30 and still doing. You're like, hold on a second.
or 40.
I don't use
I'm
the
jo-
term.
I'm joking. I'm
mainly
joking with you.
because
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Moo Moo.
Hannah won't go for that.
Hannah's fine with it. It's all the other guys. They keep going.
So there was a period in our lives where we didn't get along very well. But then I think around 16, when I could drive, when I was old enough to kind of be interesting, we bonded. And there was like literally, I think over the span of 6 months, I was like, oh, we're like really good friends now. Like we're best friends. That's weird.
And we lived together.
And then we lived together. And that was
Like
a whole
outside of
other
the
fast-
parents' house.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we had
we-
an apartment together.
When I went to school, when I went to college, he was in his grad studies. And
Same
we
school?
lived. No,
No, he went to
different
UC
schools.
Irvine, where the rich kids go, and I went to a state institution.
State
I
school.
went to Cal State Fullerton.
Yeah, great
I'm
school.
a Titan. Tuffy the Titan.
Really
It's
good
an
looking
elephant.
people go to that school.
Anyways, you
keep
live
going.
together.
Yeah, keep going.
So we lived together, and that was another.
Yeah.
That was actually more. That was probably more trying on our relationship than anything else. Simply because, not from Matt's
because you're a
perspective.
fucking pig.
Matt's really clean.
Because you're fucking slimy. I mean, I came home one night and there was a block of dead Munster cheese on the counter with like
It was
a
Gouda.
jar,
It was smoked Gouda.
a fucking jar of. What were those? What did you used to put on sandwich? You used to make
They're capers.
capers,
Yeah.
Munster or fucking Gouda wheat sandwiches, and I was like, "Who the fuck are? Why did you leave a fucking thing?"
What had happened was I was hella into Gouda cheese back then. I don't know why.
Because Gouda cheese is delicious.
It's really good. It was a smoked Gouda, so that should.
Oh
you
my
know,
god, you're kidding me?
Yeah,
you got a
that was the
fucking
bomb.
meal going on.
And Costco still sells them to this day. They sell these like little wheels of Gouda cheese where I would just slice off like thin slices of it, and slowly but surely. This is again during Nick's big period. I would slowly but surely try to get as close to that like the butcher shave.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know
that
what
you
you're
could
talking
possibly get with a knife, and then eat it like systematically, like it was my latest victim.
That was
and I
the
Hannibal
apartment we
Lecter.
lived in, Tim. Just to clarify that, the plumbing wasn't that good, and that same
This reminded me of that story you told me.
that same
I don't know the
Capistrano
story.
gig, the same Capistrano gig we did. One of my guys that he's still alive somewhere in St. Louis. He's like,
Shout out to
"Jer-
the STL.
Did you ever
Tack
have
track, find 'em.
Did you ever have a shit that was so dense you had to it wouldn't flush? You just do this." And then I was
For
like,
those of you listening at home, he just moved his arm around.
yeah, for
in a
those of you
circular
listening, I
motion.
just made like it won't go down the bowl. And so he'd be like, yeah, you got to get like a hanger and you bend it and then you got to stab it and break it in half so it'll go down. And we're dying. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cut a year later, when we finally lived together in this apartment in Garden Grove, I'm in my bed, and my door was like where this door is,
Where the camera is.
where the camera is at camera, and then Nick's was just right behind camera. So I would hear the rumbling in bed. I'll talk to the audience at this point. Door would open. I see him muppet into the bathroom because he was a little bigger, so he would muppet. And I heard the door shut, and I heard whatever horror, the horror, and then he would flush, and then he would flush, and then he would flush. Then I heard the door open back, and I'd look, and he'd muppet into his closet. Then I heard clothes moving, and as he walked by the frame again, he was fashioning a hanger, and he went into the bathroom, and I was like, there's no fucking way he's gonna stab that turd right now with a fucking hanger. Now, I never mentioned I saw that, and then skip ahead a week. I went to the bath because I used to like to shit in his bathroom because I'd clean mine. I'm not gonna shit in mine. I'm gonna shit in him so he's gone. So I was shitting his, and he'd be like, "What is going on in here?" And I'm like, "I do not know. This Garden Grove apartment is horrible." By the way, don't use my bathroom because I have the toilet bowl thing. But anyway, so I would go in there, and I was sitting there one day, and I look in the trash can like IKEA white, that fucking mesh trash can. Mesh. It's not even solid. So I had to deconstruct the crime zone. I had to
Your Batman detective.
I'm like, wait a minute. There's two rusty hangers in a rusty black trash can from IKEA. How many fucking shits has he broken off in this toilet? I mean, it's like, oh my God, it's brilliant. But I mean, like that idea, like that's the thing.
So
I mean,
for future clarification, when people ask for the most embarrassing Nick story,
I think that might be it. Maybe that one's the one that.
Yeah, that's the one because that is unfortunately 100% true.
That's awesome.
And that was, that was during when you're a bigger boy, you're pushing in some food, and it's got to go somewhere.
You're at least going to the
sometimes
bathroom like 5 times a day.
if you don't, you live a busy lifestyle, I have to work. That would get compacted in there, and
you
I
gotta
don't
drink enough
have a
water.
good diet. I'm not getting a lot of roughage. This
Yeah,
is
drinking
mostly
water.
like whatever I could eat at the restaurant I was working at the time, and then go to Del Taco, which also happened to be like in the block of the area that we lived in. So I would get out, and man, those would be monsters. Those things would be like fucking dragons that I would have to slay, and it was disgusting. But to be fair, I would shit in your bathroom too when you weren't there.
Oh, you fucking did.
Yeah, always, because you had the better bathroom. It was a better
Oh, so
setup.
good. It was like the master suite.
But the
bathroom,
cheese
yeah.
was at the old apartment, not that apartment. You're
I thought
remembering
the
that
cheese.
incorrectly.
No,
the
'cause
cheese was
remember
the
when you-
one bedroom apartment
Hold
we
on,
lived
stop.
in.
Remember
where
when
I
it
split
was
the
New
living
Year's
room and
Eve,
you lived in the bedroom?
You worked in New Year's Eve,
Yeah.
and you got sick. You ate something that was sick.
That was different. That wasn't the cheese. The cheese was literally, I had bought this brand new thing of cheese, and I left it on the because I was like walking back and forth. This was my weight loss plan. I was just gonna put the cheese in the kitchen, so that I had to get up. I had to get up to cut a piece off and then go back in. So I'm thinking eventually I would lose the will to keep getting back up.
that
and going
never
back
happened.
in.
That never
But
happened.
smoke Gouda will claim any man.
Exactly. And you know what else it does? It makes you sleepy. So I fell asleep, and my brother and I got up in the morning, and I never eat breakfast at home. I still don't eat breakfast at home. I think it's stupid to make breakfast for yourself when Starbucks is right there. So I would get up in the morning and just get in the car and go to wherever I was. And I come home, and my brother's like, "Does the cheese get better the longer it stays out?" And I'm like, "What the fuck?" Oh. It was like, but it hit hilariously, like, because it was hot. We never turned the air conditioning on. We had those like big
counter.
units.
It stuck
It
to
like
the counter.
kind of melted a little bit
to the counter.
and then just stayed.
No, but it literally
But I was like,
looked
I'll eat it.
like
I got it.
it
And
looked
just
like
kinda
he was
cracked
like fire in the sky. Like he was cutting a piece of cheese, and then he was like, "Oh fuck!" DB Sweeney style, like out, he's gone. So I was like, "Is Nick even in this fucking room?" And I could have
He's
swore
abducted cutting cheese.
I couldn't. I don't know. Wasn't New Year's Eve the time you got sick?
New
and
Year's Eve was the
shit
time
and threw up at the same
when
time.
I had to work. I was working
Because
two,
I thought
two
the,
jobs
I
at
thought
two
the
different
cheese
restaurants
was
at
on the
time.
counter. That's why you left.
No,
because you
this is a
shit and
different.
threw up at
This
the
is a
same
different
time.
story.
No, I'm serious. It was horrible. Like he sat down to go to the bathroom and figured out, oh my God, I have diarrhea and I have to throw up at the same time.
I got food poisoning.
Yeah, he had food poisoning.
What had happened
Legitimately
was
food poisoning.
I was working at a restaurant till late New Year's Eve. And I didn't realize that and I didn't shop for myself, so I did the same thing everyone does in their like early 20s. You're like, you go out to eat every freaking meal at a fast food. And I had no food in the house, and I was starving, and I couldn't find any place that was open because it didn't occur to me that New Year's Eve, maybe it was New Year's, everything was closed.
It's like New Year's Day or something.
Yeah, whatever it was. And all I had was some old wheat bread, some mayonnaise that I wasn't sure how old it was, some cheese that I wasn't sure how old it was, and capers.
Okay, maybe that's that's
so
the
I made
capers.
myself a cheese caper
Who
mayonnaise
Who the fuck eats?
sandwich, because that's all I had. I was hungry. I was like,
I
but
know,
you know when you do that, sometimes you're like, I just want a snack. I'm just gonna combine whatever I have in there and like try to make it work. And it was, to be fair, up until the point where I started shitting out of every orifice, pretty good. But I was like, I don't feel so. Oh God! And I ran to the bathroom. And I dropped my pants. Thank God I got them off in time. Sat down and was like, what the fuck is this strange sensation? Because it was like the energy was coming from my chest and just just pulsing out everywhere. And I pulled the shower curtain back and just threw up into the shower as I started spackling the fucking bowl.
You were fucking blowing mud.
Just
That was
blowing
the bowl.
Blowing mud is better.
dude. And he's like, "You not believe what happened to me?"
No,
Like, what happened?
No, I'm pretty sure you came home because it happened all night. It was not like that was.
No,
the
that's
first
what
time.
I'm saying. That's
And
why
I'm
I
pretty
felt
sure you came
horrible.
home and you looked in like because I didn't shut the door. I was like, that was not. My
Hey,
thought
Nick,
was
what
not.
the fuck?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you were like, dude. And I, to your credit, I think you were like, do you need me to
No,
call an
literally, I
ambulance?
wasn't fucking around because I was like, "Dude, are you gonna die right now?" Because he was just like horrible. But
Mom
I
won't
could have
forgive
swore
me if
I
you
could have
die
swore
here.
there was a dead lump of cheese on that counter too. But whatever.
There might have been.
You know, we
that
don't
was
have
also
to-
in my phase where I would cut. I would get the big logs of salami, cut them, and then put them on a grill, like in a saucepan, so they'd crisp up.
That's
And then I would
brilliant.
just, yeah, it was
That's
really, it
brilliant.
was so good. They were like salami chips.
Oh shit!
I know. I did a lot of crazy shit.
I got salami out there. I should be doing
You
this.
should. It's really good because all the salt comes out. And
Yeah.
all the oil like comes out. And you just get it in that for it, but it's also kind of crispy and burnt.
Yeah.
And now he's like,
It's really
"I
good.
eat salads and I do yoga, and in the
does.
climbing community, man." It's
Well, there's
just
only so many shits you can break up with a
fucking hanger,
wire
dude.
hanger before you're like, I need to change my diet. Something in my lifestyle is not right.
Yeah, I'm still in that stage.
What stage?
That's
Where you break
the wire
toilets.
You
hanger
are. Well, this
stage.
also, to be fair,
Just
so
drink more water.
I've had a
No, he
shit
doesn't
problem
do that.
for
He
my
doesn't do
entire
that.
life. So how do I solve this problem? So okay, story that I think
Shitting
we've
at
told
Starbucks.
at
This table.
this table many times.
I
don't know,
want you to know
I
my
get-
arm. I'm not drunk, but I'm buzzing up from like this table, and I couldn't get to it because of my own arm. And I was like, I don't know how to fix this problem.
So recently, I've always my entire life, as long as Kevin's known me, I've had problems pooping. I have very hard poops, and there was one time here where that was an issue.
Yeah,
And
but
now-
you tried to play it off like it was normal.
No,
poop.
no,
you lied
here's-
to us. You lied
no,
to us.
No.
You
Here's
did.
my thing. I will not take full credit for the
Oh,
damage
sure.
that happened here.
Nick
'Cause
rides
it's
that
like,
pony every fucking day.
Yeah, so it's like I'm very conscious about what happens.
Are you gonna
and that-
say what? I've not heard this. Did you break a toilet?
Oh, I've broken so many toilets.
No, he
I-
busted Colin's toilet, yeah.
This
Oh, in this house?
instance.
Yes, I
This
did.
house.
In this house, yes.
it was
I
like
did.
the first time you took a shit.
The first time ever. And honestly, that shit, no. That should not broke anything.
Yeah.
So it's like I do
No,
not take
something
full
happened
credit
prior.
for that.
Something happened prior.
Yeah,
before
it was
you
pride,
walked
but I think it's been years of buildup. Like it's one of those things where like I don't know, but like real talk, I've shit some shit. I've said this many times that would scare you, and it's like that was not one of those. That should have been
That's a normal
flushed by
poop.
a fucking anything, right? That was
Preschool
like,
toilet.
If you're in Smash Bros and you're on the handicap of how hard you want the enemy to be, this was like a 3.
Okay.
You know, so I'm like, all right, I want this one to be real. But that was not good. That was not good. That was just whatever. But I break them all the fucking time. So yeah, the hanger shit, like that's a normal move, totally normal. But I got a little distracted there from what I was even talking about. But the plumber had to come here,
Yeah.
right? And I saw the shit that he used, his little fucking
the snake.
the snake maneuver
snake the
thing.
drain.
And I was like, all right, I'm gonna YouTube this because this is gonna happen again. Less than a week later, break the toilet at the house that I'm living at, and I'm like, well, this is fucking bullshit. Now, I was like, all right, this can't be me. Like, I am pretty conscious about like how I poop and making sure that I take flushes. Like I break it up into this is very TMI, but you can't spell TMI without TIM. I break it up into pieces as it goes down. And
Yeah,
it's
the shit I
still
deal with every year.
it's still fucking did the shit. And I'm like, fuck. So I had to get the plumber. And again, he comes out with this goddamn machine. It wasn't even a machine. It was just a fucking thing. And I'm like, all right, it was a snake.
A fucking snake. I said
For the
word
one-off
already.
comments,
Fucking-
I think you're allowed to be back.
I'm
there.
allowed to be back. I thought about that religiously.
Don't let. See, this is how it changed with him too.
His fucking for those
Kevin
of you
Coelho
listening,
stays long
his
enough to be the
fucking
enemy.
feet are up, and I feel subservient now.
He does kind of look like a little master sitting over there.
So I start YouTubing this shit as Tim Gettys would, and I start seeing
Watch
like,
the monitor.
oh, people have these snakes. You can just buy them. So I went on Amazon, bought a snake. So now in my house, I have a fucking snake.
That's hot.
I've clogged that shit 3 times since then, and I just fucking snake.
Can I
that
tell
shit.
you what you do,
I
though?
threw my back out once doing it.
Yeah.
Because that's the
course you
story of my. It's way harder. Those plumbers, Dude,
They earn their
when
keep.
they're charging so much money, they fucking deserve
Well, no,
it. That shit's hella hard.
In a main snake job though, they have the machine that does it.
Oh, okay.
It's like you plug it in, and it's a motor that does it.
See,
to get through the real big shit.
For me, it's this like mop looking
No,
thing.
no, yeah. That's not.
And then
that's not the pro style.
You stick it in, and then you pull it all the way down.
Yeah.
You have to pull all the way back, and it's a stretch. Then you spin down, putting a little bit more pressure on it. Get all the way down. You got to get that thrust, the hip
you
thrust
look like you're
motion.
doing a cool new dance.
You got it in there?
It's almost like you go, why did we go to college? Get
And then you
these
keep spinning
degrees?
a bit. You keep
Now we're
spinning a
talking
bit.
about shitting.
Keep spinning a bit. And then you have to spin the other way slowly and pull it out. Like that.
And you said you didn't know how to dance.
I don't.
You get out there and you do this. Chicks will
I
love
mean,
it.
I would
And you
say
get that shit out.
I would
But
call
see,
it
here's
Tim
the problem.
shit.
You need to fucking clean that thing.
Yeah, you do, because
And
it's covered in
that's the-
shit.
No, not only is it covered in shit.
Oh God, I don't like where this is going.
Inside it's like
Oh,
imagine a
no,
slinky with a really pointy end, and then the
no.
slinky's just there's so much shit inside of it, and toilet paper and just nasty things that I'm like, I didn't put that down there. That shouldn't be there.
So what do you do?
So then what I do. No. So what you do to clean it, you have two options. You can either take it outside and hose it down. I don't have a hose, so that's not what I do. What I do is I have a bucket, and I take the bucket and I fill it with Clorox.
Sure,
Right?
Sure.
Fill that with hot water. Then I put it in there, let it do its thing for a day or two. Then I pour that water down the toilet because now the toilet is clean and you can flush it and everything's fine. And then you're good. That thing's clean as a whistle.
Cool.
You have some kind of sponsor to follow that story?
Thank
about,
God
or-
we do not. Thank God we do
Our new
not.
sponsor, you know,
Story
depends.
actually broke me. I don't think
When
I
you-
was like,
I'm
I
ti-
don't want
No,
it.
I mean, it was
Brothers.
fascinating. It was
That's
riveting.
Brothers.
Yeah, I guess.
See, and I'm grossed out sometimes with like the toilet brush. Where
No,
actually,
yeah, I
after,
don't like a toilet
after I
brush,
get done
yeah.
working with it, it's all like still. I'm like, I really just want to throw you away. And I know they used to make the disposable one. Then 9/11 happened. All the environmentalists
Oh my
came out of
God.
the ground.
No, Greg.
That's
Jesus,
not what
Greg,
happened.
that's not what 9/11 was about.
Hey, no, but see, going back to Brothers real quick, though. It's that type of shit, though. Like, you never know what you're going to have to deal with Brothers. And it's like, you got to be ready and prepared for fucking anything. And, like, whether it's shitty literally or shitty in other ways, it's just like, shit's going to be there and you just got to fucking deal with it. And as bad as it is, and my brother has put me through some shit that, like,
Yeah.
I would rival with the worst things anyone's ever had to fucking deal with ever. And it's like you just kind of ride it out and you just fucking deal with it. And if everything's okay, if you get that phone call that's like he's okay, you roll over and go to sleep.
you're good.
That's all you need
Is he
to
alive?
know.
Great.
He's fine.
Will he
Like,
live? Great.
okay, he got in this fucking car accident. It fucking sucks. And he's wrapped around a palm tree. But it's okay because he's alive.
I was just taking a shot.
Kevin taking fucking photos in the middle of the show, acting like we ain't gonna mug for the camera. We've almost finished a bottle of whiskey
Yeah, I
here. You
know,
think we're not
that's
gonna
it.
mug for the camera right now?
Jesus Christ.
You're not in the shot.
We're finishing it. I am. I'm right there. Who do you think that Superman
Let me
shirt
see the
is?
picture. Let me see the
There you
picture.
go.
There it is.
This is a
Nice.
brand
Oh,
new
that's
bottle.
it? That's what we took sexy
I
pictures
never
for?
asked.
You're a
Well, fuck
real
you.
piece of shit,
Can
Kevin.
we start on
Also, I saw you write something down there. Did you write down my 9/11 reference? Like you're gonna delete that from the show?
I know. I was prepping for topic 4.
Thank
Look,
you.
if there's anything that's fine to make fun of now, it's 9/11.
Well,
Right, Greg?
the top, Collins has said multiple times I'm allowed to.
Okay, if Colin is the one person that could actually tell me.
And I didn't
whether
really.
or not it's right.
I just don't know what happened to the disposable top toilet brush. Remember these things?
No, but
I
to be
used to
fair, I
use
didn't
them.
really clean ever.
You,
The little clips.
yeah, you had the stick. You just clip it in. You clean the toilet and you pop it in the trash. Are they still around? I should probably buy one of those.
Yeah, you should. I want you guys to just get someone to clean the house. Just get a house cleaner. It alleviates a lot of stress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we
We'll talk
charge the company? Because you want to know. You want to
Yes.
know. Do you want to know? Time for the airing of grievances for Festivus.
Let's do it.
No, you missed Festivus. That was last month.
Topic 3.
This is still topic 3. This is
Okay.
at the end of the topic where like the true fans are here, so you can say whatever they want, and they like to hear this kind of stuff. Whereas the rest were like, "I'm glad I now know about brothers," and they're done. They've moved on.
And shitting.
For like an hour.
The most offended / hurt I have been in recent memory was one Kevin Coelho, who came over here with Greg Gettys, and they were setting up the room, and then they moved the white thing that we use for the shoots out there, right? And Kevin laid it down on the floor and picked it up, and he's like, "Oh," he's making jokes to Greg about how dirty it is and how they should vacuum around here
We're
more.
gonna have to clean it next time we use it. Just so you know.
And my point is not that you're right. The floors are dirty because I'm exhausted and I have to live where we work. And I know you're right. When I'm done working at 8:30 or getting ready to wake up at 3 in the morning to post a fucking podcast in the middle of the night, I'm sorry I'm not vacuuming. By the time we end here, I'm exhausted and don't want to do anything. Like, No, I agree.
I
with
want you to vacuum.
I
think you
agree with
should.
Nick. That,
Because no, and I say that because you're an asshole, and you say things like that, and you're like, I'm being fucking funny, and I'm just. My brother doesn't give a shit. My brother doesn't.
oh no,
give a fuck.
Greg Gettys was chill as fuck.
He
Greg
could not care.
Greg
That was
Gettys
a
was
Kevin
used to
comment.
be here.
Hold on a
Yes.
second. I was saying that out of concern because next time we use it, it's. I was saying like Nick's gonna be fucking pissed.
Oh, Nick's gonna be
Roll it.
Hold on.
Well, to be
Before we
fair,
move
Nick,
off the
Nick
topic,
was pissed when he walked in and saw that thing just fucking stuffed over in the corner because that's not where that belongs. That belongs stuffed into that corner.
I didn't put it there.
Who put it there?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Kevin stuffed it in the corner in the living room, my
Right,
living room.
right.
So when I wanted to entertain people, I came and stuffed it in the corner of this room.
Ah.
So at no point when Kevin left it out there, also not where it belongs.
What are we talking
I
about,
shoved it in
Kevin?
here.
welcome to the Game Over Greg.
No,
show.
I just wanna
Before
know
we move on to the topic, though, I
what we're
needed.
talking
I have one more thing when talking about brothers, because
Sure,
like,
sure.
and this was going to be a topic, one thing of questions about.
It's okay,
Nick.
I love you.
But
Okay,
now that Nick's
yeah.
here,
You're my
now that
brother.
we're
Let's
all
do it.
here
Let's do it.
on some brother shit.
Brother shit.
When did Nick go from 0 to 1,000 in terms of rage? Because it's like the
Well-
people, they've only seen it a couple times with the poster throwing and stuff. But has he always been like that? And the more important question, did he learn it from you?
Yeah. No, we both learned it
No,
from my
from my
mother.
dad. My dad.
Oh,
No, dad.
oh, that's right. He has
No,
it too.
dad.
Mom has it too.
No.
Both of our parents are not good at.
They go from 0 to rage. But no, Nick,
Yeah.
okay, so Nick, we talked about the punching the tree.
We mentioned it. We don't know what
mentioned it.
happened.
Please tell the
there.
story.
So I assumed.
You weren't home for this story.
No, I
so
wasn't.
You don't know how it happened.
I wasn't. No, I can only tell the aftermath, and I assumed it was because mom was mom.
Yep.
And you. and you were
Enough
you.
said.
And you were you. And from my point of view, I come home, probably in college, maybe. Second,
You
third
were in
year?
college. I was in high school.
Yeah, so I come home, probably my sophomore
This is
year,
my senior
and I
year.
lived at home. So I drove like 40 minutes a day to get to my school. I walk in the front door, throw my keys down. I look at Nick, and he's up like this. And I'm like, hey, buddy. Why do you have two
I
casts?
had one cast on. I did not have two casts on.
Dude.
That was you.
No, that wasn't me. I didn't have
That
two
was you
casts.
after you fucking crashed
I
a
never
car.
had a cast. Never had a cast. We've already told the story. It's done. That was up.
I had one cast on my right hand, and it wasn't even.
I thought
a
you
cast.
broke both your hands.
No.
Okay, so one of your
hand.
hands was broke?
Yes.
Regardless, the fucking guy goes outside. He gets pissed at my mom. He probably slams the fucking door, walks outside, does another kata on the front lawn, and he fucking whacks at this tree. And he told me later that he threw like a double, like some kind of combination where he's like, ah! And then he went, ah! And his hands were essentially broke, like boxer breaks.
No, what
He
had
got
happened
boxer
was
breaks.
I was arguing with my mom over some stupid shit, and
I was right.
my mother has a
Why are you
way.
eating all the capers, Nikki?
No, it wasn't.
Don't
that.
leave the cheese on the counter.
It wasn't that. It's just my mother. When you start diving into why you act the way you act, it's a very good idea to probably look at your upbringing.
Well, duh.
And
Fuck.
and how your parents sort of deal with situations.
Yeah.
And I love my mother. She's a very, very beautiful human being, but she does not deal with stressful situations
No.
or confrontation
No.
very well. In fact, her way of doing it is to immediately either get super defensive, actually just pretty much get super defensive and yell at you. And turn
She's
her back
working
around
on
you.
it, though. She's working
So what
on it.
happened
We're-
was
we're
I
working
took the
on that.
SATs and she opened the letter.
Is this number one?
This is the first time I opened it.
Yes, I remember
She
this.
opened the
I
letter,
remember
and this
this
was
now.
this was 6 months
so good.
like prior
So
to
good.
what had happened, and I was going to like do college applications or something at the time.
he was such a
and she'd
bitch.
opened the letter and she looked at the score and told me the score, and she said I got like an 11 something, and I was like 1165 or something like that, and I was like, oh, that's pretty okay. Like that can probably get me like a good UC or whatever. So I had to think about it again. So all the stress from having to take the SAT was then over.
Yeah.
Right. So flash forward to like a couple months later. When I was fucking applying for colleges, I was like, where's that letter with my SAT score? And she's like, oh, here, you got a 1065. And I was like, no, you said, I thought she had said that I got a 1265. She goes, oh yeah, maybe I did. And I'm like, that's 200 points lower. Like that's the difference between a good school and like not a good school.
Shit.
And she's like, well, why are you yelling at me about this? Yada, yada, yada. You should look at the fucking letter. And I was like, oh my God, I can't deal with you. And then rather than like blow up at her, I was like, I was trying to practice.
He used to
sort of better things.
internalize
I'm
a lot of
I'm going to go
anger.
for a walk right now. And we're going to try to have a discussion about this when I get back.
Stupid.
And then she said one thing to me and I can't remember what it was. But my mother was like a master at like, God bless her. But
Last words.
She's not good at being introspective to the point of admitting that maybe
Just a
something,
skosh.
just a skoshie of this might have been her fault. like maybe she could take just a skosh responsibility. In fact, her defense
Fucking
mechanism
5%.
more often than not was to make it so that I am the biggest asshole on the planet because I didn't study for the SATs, when that's not the issue. The issue was like, yeah, I should look at the paper, but also why the fuck didn't you look at the paper closer, and why are you
Let's
mad
be
at me? You made the
honest.
mistake.
She committed a federal offense. Let's just say what it is.
Whatever.
She
So-
opened your fucking mail. That's a federal offense.
It doesn't. I mean, I lived with her. It was, it's her.
You did?
She can open it. Yeah.
Yeah, but were you 18?
No, maybe. I don't
Whatever.
know.
Continue.
Doesn't matter.
Continue.
He can't even just roll with the joke you're making. You know what I mean?
Just fucking.
That
asshole.
committed federal offense. I'm with the fucking feds.
I've
knocking
gone
down my
blind in
mom's
my
door.
left
You opened
eye
a
right
fucking
now
mail
from
10
this
years
whiskey,
ago.
so I'm good. Whatever we gotta do.
So
I mean,
whatever.
It's
It was
so hot in here. I'm about to take my pants off.
It is really hot.
Please do.
Yeah, I mean, can I take my pants off? Is
Yeah,
that what
you can
you're-
take your pants
Oh,
off.
Kevin's saying pants off.
We're almost done.
Can I? You want to see
You're
my
not putting
new
the fan on.
Duluth underwear? I'm wearing the new one.
Later, maybe.
The barely naked.
When you want to show Tim your penis again.
Oh, it's tiny right now. I'm sorry.
But it's so hot.
Also, I want this very clear to everyone at home because this has been a theme of this episode. Kevin is driving me home for this episode.
What does that mean?
DUIs, not
Oh,
good.
sure,
Because
sure.
I'm pushing the pure one far beyond his
oh,
means.
yeah,
the
yeah,
pure
yeah,
one
no,
does
this-
not. No, you're drinking
Oh,
that.
I'm drinking.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I wanted them to know.
Oh, I see
They've
what you're
seen me
doing.
the whole time. I want it clear because they know that I'm driving
No,
home.
this is the show I tuned in for.
You know, things happen.
This is brotherhood.
So
It
long
is.
story short on my dumbass story, I overreacted. We
Yeah.
weren't communicating well. I didn't deal with the situation well because it was a shock to me that I then now had to prep again for the fucking SATs and take it again.
Yep.
So I was like,
I would've been
I'm going
angry.
to, before I get really super angry, I'm going to go for a walk. And I'm going to practice some deep breathing. And as I'm
shadow
walking
boxing.
out the door, of course, my mom can't let anything go.
So
My
last
mom's
words.
also like,
Last words.
my mom's also like
gotta have
the
the last word.
master of the last words, right? Fucking A, if you're going to walk out of that house without hearing her peace of mind on this. Right.
Last fucking word.
And it doesn't have to really, contextually, it doesn't have to have anything to do with the argument, by the way.
That's absolutely
This
correct.
could be some shit you did 20 years ago for all the fuck she
No,
cares.
she will
Doesn't
remember
matter.
and pull the fucking
amazing
library out.
shit. Yeah. It's like a
You
mental
have to have.
Rolodex.
You have to work through it. when
And,
it happens.
and she was a master at using some of his shit against me, too. Well, your fucking brother crashed a car and I got to deal with that. I'm like, I had nothing to do with that. That's his dumbass mistake, but you're yelling at me for it. Great. So I can't remember what she said as I exited the house, but there was a tree in our front yard. And I just,
that tree was gonna
She
get
said
it.
it, and I was like, motherfuck. And I just walloped that thing. And then I was like, that felt good. I'm going to knock this, in my brain, I'm like, I'm going to knock this fucking tree down and
Hulk
show
out.
her who is boss.
Hulk out,
so
big
I hit
head.
it like 2 more times.
Dude.
And then I
Dude.
walked up the street and I looked at my hand and it was like the size. It was like
It was all
the
Rick
nu-
Grimes.
What had
mangled.
happened
Yeah.
what had happened was I got to my credit, to my incredibly dense bone structure, which probably came from years of eating sugar cereal with like milk,
the fat milk.
the fat milk. I must have I didn't break a bone. What had happened was it's called a boxer's fracture, where your knuckle meets like this in a joint.
Show the camera. Show the camera.
Meets like this in a joint, and when you hit this being the front of your knuckle, and this or front of your fist, and this is your wrist area, it pushes over the other knuckle.
Oh.
And so what you have to do is you have to walk it. I walked in an emergency room and I was like, Doc, and he's like, let me guess, you punch something. And I was like, how'd you know? He goes, I see those all the time, people that punch things. It's called a boxer's fracture. And I'm like, well, do I need a cast for it? He's like, you don't necessarily need a cast for it, but unfortunately, if you want it to heal correctly,
I gotta
pull it back out. So there's no bone chip or anything like that.
Yeah,
It
you just
wasn't a
gotta
broken
realign
bone. It needed to just kind of be pulled back out.
Yeah.
And he's like, so basically what he has to do is he has to take your hand.
Yeah.
And he feels the joint here
Here, hold
instead
on.
of where it's
Do it
supposed
over
to
here,
be.
do it over.
He'll feel
say,
the knuckle
"Will
here
you,
instead of being down here, and he has to
Greg,
pull
marry
it back
Ah,
down.
did he do it
and pull your
fast?
finger out. No, I mean no, because he has to feel it, and it's more of a. It's not like a.
Yeah, it's not like taffy.
And it's going back in. It's we're gonna get this as far as we can with it, and then call it a day. And then he cast it up, and I only had the cast on for a week.
Oh, okay.
Because
But
he's
when
like it's not really going to do anything, and he's like, and chances are, to be perfectly honest, it's going to go right back into where it was before, like up the wrong way. And if you look at my knuckles now, you can see how that one's flat
Yeah.
and that one's got it.
Oh,
Yeah,
so it
so-
wasn't smart, and that was.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, we both get that rage from my parents,
That makes sense.
who are not good at communicating and who fly off the fucking
My-
handle at every.
My wife
Every
calls
chance they
it
get.
the monster.
Yeah, it is the
She
monster.
goes, I don't want to see the monster today.
No, I
I'm
get
like,
it.
You're like, it's
I
too
get it.
late.
I'm
here
like
it
this.
comes.
Hey, to be fair, I've known you for 6 years now.
Yeah.
Something like that. And I've only seen it, I'd say like 4 times.
Yeah.
Total.
You saw it the other night. You saw it
Oh,
last week.
I saw it last week.
I was screaming because we had some things planned, and it was no one's fault, and I was just tired.
It's
and
an
I'm
unusual
like-
domino effect. It's
Yeah.
the knuckles. Everything's laying on top of each other when
Yeah.
it shouldn't be.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
I fucking and I apologized to Tim and Kevin later, and Tim goes like this.
Take away the knife.
the fucking hammer with the knife in his hand.
Tim was like, "No problem, dude. It's not a problem. I know you're stressed, and it's not a big deal." He's like, "I just want you to know this though. In the middle of your rant and rave, You did call me and Kevin cocksuckers.
Yeah. Nick out of nowhere. Like what's funny is, and like not to get too deep into this.
Oh my God.
You set it up correctly. It was something out of nothing, and it made sense. Like I don't blame you because it was a stressful situation. But Kevin did the Kevin thing of just kind of exacerbating the situation like he does. Where it's like
Not a bad thing. Not your fault.
It's
you do like to fuck with me when I'm mad.
He could have stopped, and Kevin knows this though. Kevin, and he didn't need to make a point. Like I understand everything that happened, but what's funny is that there was a moment that occurred, and me and Kevin both read it the same way, and that was if Kevin says one more thing, Nick's gonna lose it. And Kevin had that moment, and I saw him. He like looked at me for a second, and I looked at him, and I didn't give him the "don't do it" look. I gave him the "I'm staying out of this" look, and so that was on him. And he did it. He said the thing, and Nick fucking lost it. And Nick just started screaming and screaming. And then all of a sudden, you started calling both of us cocksucker. You started directing the anger at me too. And I'm like, I'm just sitting here.
You're in the room.
Yeah, and it was
You're collateral damage.
So funny because then later you come back in classic Nick fashion, and I'll always appreciate this. You apologize, and you know that you made.
You guys
mistakes.
don't deserve these things. And this is me taking. This is just me not having a good stress outlet, and it sucks that I take it out on you guys.
Exactly,
I respect
but that's the beauty of it is
You guys
that
should hug it out.
we know that. And we know how to work together.
No, but what you're getting is you understand because I've had to accept this. That's why my wife and I are doing better because at one time we weren't, and now we are because I had to say, okay, there are moments in my life where I do react like mom. I am more like mom. You are more like dad.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, because I go like as you told the story about when we were in that comedy club.
Yeah,
and that bitch wouldn't shut her mouth.
That's coming. That one's going.
He's exaggerating for fun. Okay,
cut that one out.
I want a hard cut, Kev. Right back to now. There we go.
And I know that Nick's like, oh well, Matt gets sassy, but really, I now can turn it on and off, and I chose to turn it on because I was really frustrated. At that situation.
but you and I both know that's not the right way to deal with any situation.
No, but it was super fun.
It was very.
It was super fun.
And in that regard, to be fair,
she had to be the funny one, and I was like, no, sweetheart, no, let me tell you something right now. I'm better than
Why
you.
did you just turn it into
I'm
Desi
gonna
Arnaz? That was amazing.
Desi Arnaz.
I thought he was doing like mafia, like an Italian.
Desi Arnaz. I have no
Desi
idea what I'm doing.
Arnaz.
When I'm like this, oh, okay, no, I'm not doing Desi Arnaz.
You're like, maybe it was more Scarface.
It
where
was more like,
oh,
okay, honey.
Oh, there you go.
It's like, you gotta go.
You're gonna die big time.